Hello and welcome back to the Slasher Siblings podcast. This week we are doing Death Curse of Tartu. This is one of the most random movies we've ever found. And it was also on the list of worst rated horror movies, which is pretty fair.
It was definitely a hard watch.
It was definitely a hard watch. Before I get into what it's about and stuff, the last question was, what snack is Tallahassee searching for in Zombieland?
Twinkies.
And we actually had somebody finally answer the question.
Oh, nice.
We'll shout them out on the Facebook on Saturday, since we're 1 week behind.
Cool.
But to get into the movie, it was made in 1966. It was unrated. An hour and 28 minutes of excruciating pain.
Yeah, that was hard.
That was hard.
Boring.
And it got a 3.7 out of 10 on IMDb. That's
pretty bad.
That's pretty fair, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree. It was pretty bad.
Yeah. It's about a group of student archaeologists venture into the Florida Everglades to look for fossils, but come across an area cursed by a Native American witch doctor. Yeah, that doesn't it doesn't sound like it would be a bad movie, but
yeah.
And then you get into it and it's not.
What year did it come out?
1966.
Yeah. It's a pretty tough watch.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I can say positive about it.
No, I don't really know of anything positive to say. This is just another movie in the bucket of the month of May of bad movies. I did have someone comment on the Facebook wondering why Critters was on the list. I don't know. We haven't seen it yet, so we don't know. But it was.
Oh, did they think it was good?
I guess apparently somebody liked it. I don't know. It was just on the list we found. So
well, Rain liked Tusk, so
that's true. I'm sure there's someone who likes Death Curse of Tartu.
There's somebody out there who does.
I don't know why.
They have to have a really boring personality. Listen, I was like, oh my god, can this hurry up?
I know, it was only an hour and 28 minutes and it felt like 3 hours.
Yeah.
I was just trying to get through it the whole time. I think
the worst part is not only the dialogue, but just the music.
Yeah, the music wasn't great.
The music I almost fell asleep watching this.
I didn't, but I just felt like this movie was taking forever.
Yeah.
Just kept going and going. I wanted to rip my hair out. It was not
me
good.
Too.
But let's get into it. So the opening is kind of confused.
Yeah.
And it's a little long and very, very little info. It's the dude coming into the cave.
Yeah.
And he gets killed by the witch doctor.
Yeah.
And, that literally tells us nothing.
Yeah, what were we supposed to do with that?
The dude just walks into this cave and gets killed by an Indian.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. That's
what?
literally
the
opening. And then he drops the map or whatever. I did think it was cool, the hand turning the credits.
Yeah.
I did think that part was cool.
That actually, I'll give it to him. That was cool. That was cool.
It reminded me a little. It seemed kind of like what Napoleon Dynamite does.
Yeah, with
the food, and it's written.
That's probably one of my favorite, opening credits. Is Napoleon Dynamite.
I love that song.
Do do do.
Yeah, with the okay.
Anyway,
I love that movie too.
Me too.
The hand turning the credits was pretty cool. And every time he turned a page on the map, it was a different person's name. Executive producer, director, blah, 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 whatever.
I thought that part was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. But then that was the only thing.
That's the only good, I was like, okay. But then I thought maybe it'd be okay.
Yeah, I thought
it really is misleading.
Like that very first scene with the dude in the cave, I was like, okay, what the fuck's going on now? Like, I don't know, I don't understand.
Yeah.
And then it got to, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. He's just looking through the map. And then it gets to the two dudes in the boat, which was way too long.
Yes.
Well, to be honest with you, there's a ton of scenes in this movie that were just like too long.
Too long.
But they're in the boat. They pull up. The first guy gets out the boat. He wipes his forehead, and he actually said "phew." He goes "phew."
Like what?
You couldn't even fake it.
Phew.
He literally says that, and it's in the
captions,
subtitles too. Because I watch with
hilarious.
Subtitles on. Because if I hear,
Aiden's deaf.
Well,
No,
kind
you're
of,
just
but like I'm watching and I don't understand what they said. I'll look down to see what they said, and then I'll look back up and watch it again. It's just to like fix my brain so I don't have to rewind it. But I heard him go "phew," and then I looked down and the subtitle said "phew." I was like, "Come on, dude!
Stupid.
Seriously."
So stupid.
It was just, he was not a great actor. That first dude with the gun and the hat.
No.
Phew.
I could do that better than he could.
And we kind of gained information about what's going on. They're talking to each other, and he's saying like, "Oh, I need to find some fossils around here, and I gotta follow this map because there's a cave with a witch doctor in it, blah blah blah," and all this other stuff. They haven't told us about the death curse part yet, but finally we have some information about what the fuck's going on in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's like 30 minutes, not really, it's like 20 minutes into the movie before you find anything what's going on, which is not a great way to do that. You should have like, I don't know, but it just seemed like it took too long. Because if you didn't read the description, which I actually didn't before watching the movie,
so
all I knew was the title.
Yeah, I had to figure some shit out.
And it just took so long for us to find out what the fuck was going on. And then it jump cuts to the skull, and that actually took me by surprise. Yeah. There was like that skull, and he didn't know, and it like zoomed right into his, that actually kind of made me it made me jump. Okay. I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck just happened?" It
scared me. I was like, "Oh, okay."
It made me jump a little bit because I wasn't.
It looked very like it came from Spirit Halloween.
Could have.
It looked like it, didn't it?
But I mean, this was 1966. Yeah. So they probably made it out of plaster or something. Yeah. But like, I wasn't expecting it, and I don't think I was paying attention too much at the moment. I think I was writing something, and then I like looked up, and all of a sudden the skull was in my face.
Yeah.
But that actually took me by surprise. I was surprised by that. There was a lot of focus on him walking. It was just like,
that was way too long.
So in The Mandalorian, there's a lot of scenes of watching him just walk, but like accompanied with the beautiful landscape and like the music. That's what we want to see, like an old western.
Yeah.
And it seemed like this movie tried to be an old western movie. But they did it in such a not great way. I don't want to say terrible way, but like
not.
They didn't do a good job of, because they were like solely focused on him walking. Yeah. It had nothing to do with the background. And they just watched him walk for maybe 10 minutes. Just silent. You just heard crunching of the leaves under his feet. That's it. Like, that was not...
I remember while I was watching, I was like, oh my god!
Didn't he just die already?
like, I'm falling asleep!
Like, it was just so dumb watching him walk. And, like, didn't he, like, start cutting down some of the stuff in his way? Like,
yeah.
Like, that was just...
It was excruciating.
It was excruciating, it was. And why did he pick that spot to dig? Why did he pick where that alligator skull was to dig up a fossil?
I don't know.
Like, what? There was no earthly reason why he picked that specific spot. At least it didn't say in the movie why he picked that specific spot, and I thought that was kind of a
random thing to
random,
do.
Yeah, exactly. Why was the Native American in a like a sarcophagus?
Yeah.
Thing? Why was he
chilling?
Why was he buried like a mummy? I didn't understand that.
I didn't understand that either.
Like, he could have been...
He's alive.
Yeah, well, the spirit was.
Yeah.
But, like, it just didn't make sense why he was, like, in a sarcophagus.
No.
I didn't understand. Because that was, like, at the time that they were buried, like, under, like, their property or something. Like,
yeah.
Native Americans, like, had little patches of land where their tribe would live. And they would bury them under their, like, their favorite spot. Or near their favorite tree.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So, him being buried in the Florida Everglades.
Weird.
A weird spot.
None of this makes sense.
No. And why was there so much focus on the snake?
Yeah, there was like, I didn't understand that either. I was like,
it was almost like the
we're
camera was
a lot
just
of this snake.
Yeah, he wasn't even doing anything.
Yeah.
He was just sitting there for half of it.
Yeah.
And then it watched him like slither very slowly, and it didn't speed it up at all. It slowly slithered towards this dude who apparently wasn't paying attention to his surroundings. And it kept jumping to the guy, and he's like looking up in the air and like looking at the trees and stuff. Like, this is the Florida Everglades.
Yeah.
You got snakes and crocodiles and alligators everywhere on the ground.
Pay attention to your surroundings.
This slowly slithering snake towards this dude who has no idea what the hell's going on, apparently, then gets attacked by the snake.
If you're gonna go out and do that stuff, at least, like, you know,
like, everything in the Florida Everglades is trying to kill you.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's
don't
almost like
not
Australia.
Pay attention.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense why he was not.
Just not. No.
No,
nothing.
just not doing it. And then, okay, so we got past the snake part because it didn't attack him yet, but he gets to his camp or whatever, and he like needs to go. He heard like a crunching behind him or something, right? And the sun's still out, but yet he took a lantern. It's like 2 p.m. and he's walking around with a lantern to light his path. I don't know what
it's
kind
like, dude, what are you doing?
I don't know what like choice that was to take a lantern when it's clearly.
He's like, you know what? Just in case.
Just in case, I might be out there for another 8 hours until it gets dark. And he didn't even go far from his camp.
No.
I don't know. That choice
was silly.
Yeah, that was silly. And then this is the point in the movie where the music is starting to be a bit much.
Oh yeah.
It was just a loop of the same
thing.
song over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's like trying to intensify the feeling, but it really doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just a loop of the same song over and over again, which didn't make any sense whatsoever. But that was the point where it was starting to get a bit too much for me. I was like, this is really annoying and boring. And then there's finally dialogue. And what I mean is that finally someone speaks, because he spent like the last 20 minutes watching a snake and a dude.
And loud-ass music.
And loud-ass music, yes.
That's just repetitive.
I know.
Dude.
And finally someone says something at all.
Yeah.
Finally. We're like 30 minutes into the movie. 30, 40 minutes into the movie.
That's another reason I was having such a hard time. No, nothing's happening.
Nothing was happening.
Nobody's talking.
But there was interesting info on the tiger attack. He was talking to, what's his face? The dude who drove the boat or whatever. They were talking about
I have no idea whose name was what.
I don't either. I'm just saying.
I have no idea.
I'm just saying that I don't remember his name, but he was talking about a tiger attack, which was kind of interesting. I don't remember the story because I lost it, but then there's footprints. So they took the fan boats to find the doctor guy or whatever, and that one kid, I call him a kid, but he's like probably like 20 or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, he said he found footprints who were so clearly that doctor dude's that they're looking for, when all 15 of those people just stepped in the exact same spot.
Yeah.
How is there footprints there? Like, recognizable footprints when all of you just stepped on them.
Yeah.
So that didn't make any sense. You ruined all of it. I don't know. That just seemed kind of clumsy.
Yeah.
There, but whatever. Then there's the one guy hears those drums. The Native American drums or whatever. Only the one guy hears it, which kind of makes you think, oh, maybe this is going to get good now.
Yeah.
After this excruciating 45 minutes we've been through now. We were wrong. But there was the one guy that was just hearing the drums, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And then he just somehow finds the writing on the rock.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. That was just like that was another just random, I'm going to grab it out of my ass moment. It was just so random. Oh, look, there's writing on this rock.
Look.
What? And then, so the roasting marshmallow scene was kind of weird and awkward.
The whole movie was weird.
Yeah, it was, but it was that scene specifically that was just so weird because
that was a hard watch.
They just like ran off to the lake and they're just like making out with each other right next to each other. Did you watch
them make out? Did you watch their lips?
Yeah,
they didn't make out. They smushed their lips together and then moved their head side to side.
Yes.
Like there was no moving of the lips. Like they went smush, squish, 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 side to side. You know what I mean? And I was like, what is that?
I don't know what that is. It was so weird to watch though.
Like you watched them, right?
Yeah,
I was like, I mean, I'm no make-out expert, but that's not right.
That's not right. No. That's so weird.
It looks so weird.
And the way they had the camera was like that you were like creeping on them.
Yeah, and then like they heard something, and did you watch like him turn around and put his hand on her leg, and it was like really weirdly placed on her leg?
I didn't see that.
His hand was like so awkward. I was like, this is cringy.
Yeah.
That scene.
And it was just so awkward to be like in the view of like we're creeping on them.
Yeah,
and,
it kind of looked like we were behind a bush.
Yeah. And then they're like laying next to each other making out with each other.
Yeah. Like that's all. It was awkward to watch.
Yes.
Like I was getting secondhand embarrassment.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I was like, I don't think I should be watching.
They were close enough that they talked in a normal voice and they heard each other. That's too close.
That's too close.
A little privacy, please.
That's weird.
That's weird. And then there's the annoying looped music again.
Oh my god.
With the Indian mummy thing. He's like rocking in his sarcophagus thing, which was just like so stupid. It was just a reoccurring thing that this music was just on a loop over and over again. And I wanted it to be over.
It was bad.
It was bad.
The music was bad.
It was like some dude yelling.
Yeah.
You could tell where it was looped.
Yeah, you could hear it.
You could hear it, exactly. And then one or both of the people could have got away from the shark.
Yeah.
It was not going that fast.
No.
And
they saw it.
They literally saw it. And if they would have just swam,
they just sat there.
They literally sat there and looked at the shark. It almost seemed like they swam too fast, and then the director was like, "Whoa, slow down! We can't move the shark that fast."
Yeah.
And then they just like stopped.
Slow down. Yeah.
Like they could have gotten away.
Yeah.
They had more than enough time to do it. And then, even if both of them couldn't, the shark was focused on one. He was eating one of them. The other could have gotten away. Yeah. But it was like the dude got bit. And then all of a sudden the chick just stopped.
And that was it. She just gave up.
Gave up. when you were like 5 feet away from shore
Yeah.
in safety.
It
Whatever.
was silly.
That was that was very silly. And then that other girl was extremely dramatic.
Oh my god. The brunette.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was so dramatic about all of this. Well, everything in the movie, but like about them getting eaten by the shark. She was like screaming and laying on the dude and like
Yeah.
that was just so dramatic. Like I get it, your friends died, but like
You don't act like the way she was acting.
no. You have to watch the movie to understand.
Yeah.
I'm not going to recommend anybody see this movie. If you want to see a bad
I
movie,
think you
go
should
for
watch
it.
it just because we're talking about it, maybe
Yeah.
to see what we mean. But
Yeah,
other
exactly.
than that, I wouldn't go out of your way to watch.
But if you saw this scene, you would understand that it was just like a bit much.
Yeah.
She was very dramatic.
But like, they were just like
Over the
overdo
edge.
it.
Yeah, overdoing it. And then the airboat got destroyed.
Yeah.
Which just seemed like a weird coincidence.
Like, of course that happened.
Of course that happened. And somehow the alligators did it.
I didn't understand, like, when the alligators started coming into play. I was like, the girl jumped in the water to escape it, and he was just swimming. I'm like, I said out loud watching this movie, I literally was like, why would you go from land to water
where they're 10 times faster
to escape an animal that can swim like very well? Why would you do that? That was so stupid.
We're actually almost to that point. So the alligators somehow, with their teeth, destroyed the airboats.
Yeah.
They just like bit the boats enough to be destroyed without anyone knowing.
I guess.
And somehow he just knew it was an alligator. I don't understand how alligators could destroy a metal fan boat and you absolutely know that it was an alligator. But okay, whatever.
Alright.
And then that kid goes off alone.
Yeah.
Which seemed like the stupidest choice. Number one, why would you send him off by himself to walk for miles?
Yeah.
And it just makes no sense because it's like, oh, you need to go so you can have help come back. Why not all three of you go?
Yeah, just go.
Why are the two of you staying behind? Or three of you staying behind? Just all of you go.
Leave.
What is making you stay there? But he goes off alone and he dies because he got bit by a snake like 15 times. That was like one of the worst looking snakes ever too.
Yeah.
It was just like it looked like a stick with a I don't know, a fruit on the end of it.
Yeah.
And it was just smacking him in the face with it.
That was so stupid.
It was dumb. But then one more interesting thing happened was the girl had the dream that he got bit by the snake and he died. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like, why did she have that dream, number one? And he is dead, so makes sense. But she did get over him pretty quickly.
Yeah.
She was very dramatic for like
2 seconds.
2 seconds, and then she was just like, all right, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Like,
Ditch him.
just ditch him. Your boyfriend died, so I don't know. It just seems like...
She's like, whatever. I'll get over it.
Then they find the cave, which this whole movie has been about. This whole movie has been about finding this cave, and it took us like an hour to get here. An hour of excruciatingly long scenes of just people walking to get to here.
Yeah.
Finally, we're at the cave. And they find that dude's body from the beginning of the movie.
And he jumps up.
No.
Oh, you're not
The dead
talking about
body.
that. Oh,
The dead body.
I thought you were talking about the...
It took too long to find this dude's body that we've been looking for the whole movie. And they're just like, oh, maybe he's, looking for something. Okay, well, you're just going to let him be by himself in the Florida Everglades? Like, you didn't want to go looking for him? You wanted to roast marshmallows and make out weirdly?
Ew.
Just seemed like A little oversight there, but okay. I'll do that. So so here's the alligator part. This chick is running. She ran out of the cave because I forget what happened. She got scared. She gets out of the cave. The door shuts behind her, and she sees an alligator, so she starts running from it. Number one, the alligator was literally leisurely walking.
Yeah, it wasn't doing anything.
It did
was
nothing.
Chilling.
And she's like full out sprinting, and somehow this slow alligator is right behind her the whole time.
He's like barely moving.
Hardly moving. But like you said, she jumps in the water.
She didn't have to.
Oh wait, that's coming up soon. So she runs from the alligator and then somehow makes a loop straight back to the cave. For what reason?
Why would you do that?
Why would you go right back to the cave?
Just run away.
Just keep running in a straight line.
Or zigzag.
Or zigzag, yeah.
Aren't
but
you
like,
supposed to zigzag when you run away from alligators?
yeah, but he is walking very slowly. Just run.
Just run.
You'll outrun him, I promise.
Kick him.
Kick him
in the eyeball. I have full faith that if I had to outrun and like get away from an alligator, I could do it.
You think so?
Yeah.
You want to try?
No, but if I'm ever in that situation, like
I might get away.
I think I would.
Okay.
Same with a shark. Even though I'm really scared of him, I turn around and punch it straight in the eyeball, over and over and over.
Fair enough.
Like, I'm so scared of sharks that now I'm like, okay, if I'm ever in this situation where I fall in the ocean, I gotta jump to the side of the shark and fight it.
I think it's a little harder than you'll
Oh, well, whatever.
But no, I like sharks. But
I don't.
still, she was running. It's not like he was running after her or anything. It's not like he was a torpedo.
He was so slow.
He was so slow. But yeah, she runs and makes a circle and comes back to the cave, which was dumb because where were you gonna go if he came into the cave entrance? You know? So there's the scene where they're blowing up the door. That is not how that works. There's such little gunpowder and bullets that you're not going to get enough gunpowder out of 3 bullets to blow open that giant door.
No, that was so silly.
You need like, I don't know, an entire box of ammo to have enough gunpowder to blow open that door. Like you needed a lot.
That was like 3 of
whatever.
these little guys.
Yeah, exactly. This is, for anybody listening, it was like 3 bullets.
Like little.
Yeah, it was not like 50 cows that are like the size of my arm, but like it was outrageous. He did like 3 or 4 bullets and then somehow blew open a door.
Yeah.
And then they're looking for the girl, which just seemed like the most, I don't know how to explain it. It was like the most half-assed rescue ever.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like they were in any hurry.
No.
Really.
Like, yeah, whatever.
Maybe she's over here. Oh wait, maybe she's over here. Like, just
Who knows?
who
We'll
knows?
find her.
I don't know. You should know. Then she jumps into the alligator's natural habitat.
The water.
The water.
He jumps right in there, starts swimming. Barely.
If a shark is somehow on land and chasing you very slowly, are you gonna jump into its fucking
Never.
natural habitat?
That's what I'm saying. Why did she jump in? Like, why?
I don't know.
He got in and was like, oh, fuck yeah.
A shark and an alligator both swim so much faster in the water. Obviously, a shark can't come up on land.
Yeah.
That was just an extreme example. But, like, an alligator is meant to be in the water.
Yeah.
But he can go up on land. He's just meant to be in the water. That's why his tail is shaped that way. So he can fucking swim it like... Oh, they swim pretty fast. I don't know what the speed is of their swimming, but it's pretty fast.
Pretty fast.
And I'm not jumping in the water so he can be 10 times faster than he was on the land.
I barely swim as it is. I'm not going to make it.
No, I'm not going to make it either.
I doggy paddle.
I can swim pretty fast, but not faster than
I swim on the side. I don't do like a breaststroke or anything like that.
I can swim pretty fast, but not faster than an alligator is probably hungry.
I would die.
Exactly. Okay, and then the girl died.
Yeah.
Like, she climbed a tree and somehow the alligator got her.
Yeah. All you see is her hands on a branch, and then she's dead.
Yeah. And, like, the alligator took, like, one bite.
Yeah.
It like, chomped her, and then, like, ran away.
That was it.
And then she died.
Yep.
Like, seconds later. It didn't make sense.
Nah,
it's not like she was tore up, it bit her once, and ran away.
Yep. That's it.
It's like stabbing somebody one time with a knife right in the gut, and then running away, and they die 3 seconds later. That made 0 sense, but okay. And now, the most mysterious part of this movie. Where the fuck did the axe come from?
Yeah.
He just pulled it out of the weeds.
Yeah.
He didn't run to the alligator with it.
Who left that there?
Where did the axe come from? She didn't have it.
No.
Neither of the other two had it. It just appeared. Makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
And then they went back to the cave. The one place that they were dying 15 seconds ago. The fucking cave. How many times do you need to go back to this cave in one movie? Just leave. Leave. Don't come back. But Tartu wakes up at this point.
Yeah.
Like, actually wakes up and gets out of his sarcophagus thingy. And they start fighting. Which is like the most drawn out, stupidest fight I've ever seen in my life. They're just like rolling with each other this whole time.
Yeah.
And he's like running after them. Like, Tartu is chasing the woman, and the guy is chasing Tartu. And
it's like very slow.
Yeah. Like, it took them a long time just to chase each other down. Like, this is the rest of the 15 minutes of the movie.
Just that.
Just them chasing each other. And then she falls into the quicksand or whatever. And then Tartu, or the guy catches up with Tartu, and they're like rolling, and she's like sinking in the quicksand, which can't happen. The quicksand does not actually make you sink like that. I forget how it works, but it is not like that, like how movies show it. But okay.
I was always worried I'd have to deal with quicksand as a child.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what do I do if I get in there?
Apparently nothing. Just don't move.
Yeah.
And you don't sink that far, apparently. Or at all. But they fight. They're rolling on the ground, and then all of a sudden, he gets thrown in the quicksand. And he sinks far enough to where nature kills him.
Yep.
Because that was the point of the movie. Is that only nature can kill him. And he spent all this time trying to shoot him and hit him with an axe and do all this other stuff. And, like, you had to kill him with nature.
That's it.
Like, think of something else besides a gun, because the gun ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
Gun ain't nature. But finally, this movie is over. He pulls the chick out. End of movie. This was the longest hour and a half of my life. Possibly ever.
It felt very long.
It just seemed like it was never going to end. And I don't understand why. It didn't need to be that long.
It was just boring and long and
exactly.
Didn't make any sense.
Not really.
Kind of funny though.
It was kind of funny in some parts. Like, it was just so bad that it was funny in some parts too.
The dancing.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was bad. It was so bad it was good.
If you say so.
It was so bad it was good. I was like, you know what? They're kind of grooving. They're
kind of grooving, I guess, yeah. So I do have some things here. Fear facts. Surprising for this movie, but the animals were owned by the first guy who went missing.
Oh, wow.
the guy that said "few." Those animals, like in the movie behind the cages, the deer and stuff.
Yeah.
Those were actually owned by him, and that was his actual farm, I guess you could say.
Oh, wow.
They filmed it at his actual farm. But he was also a voiceover. That wasn't his actual voice, I guess.
What?
I don't know why they chose to do that, but whatever.
It's a waste.
And you can kind of tell in a few moments, like his mouth was moving and the words didn't match up. So I wondered what the hell was going on with that. But apparently he was voiced over.
That's so stupid.
Whatever. Doesn't make much sense, but okay. For this next one, you can definitely tell. Okay? The script was written in one night.
Oh my god. That's hilarious.
You can tell.
That's so funny.
It was definitely obvious that the script was only written one night.
Oh, yeah.
So some of the lines in there. And
oh, yeah.
It was bad. And yes, we also know this one. You can obviously tell this next one. You can just tell the last three just by watching the movie. Music and dialogue was looped.
No way.
Couldn't tell. Like there was the one scene where they were getting off the fan boats
Yeah.
and they just
Yeah.
overused the dialogue
Over and over.
over and over again. They just kept saying the same thing in the same way and the same sound over and over. It was obvious that was looped. And the music, the whole movie was looped pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
It was just so bad. And then for the final one, it was shot in 7 days.
I knew it.
You could tell.
I knew it.
It didn't take long. And I gave it a 3.5 out of 10 because I
Wow.
feel like that was a deserving score that IMDb.
Yeah, I get like
Gave
a
it.
2.5.
2.5 worse than Rubber.
Oh, Rubber got my interest. Rubber had me like watching, and I'm like, what's gonna happen next?
What about compared to Tusk?
Like, this movie was just hard to watch.
Yeah.
Like, Tusk was hard to watch because it was disgusting, and like,
Grotesque.
I physically gagged at Tusk
Yeah.
because that shit grosses me out. But this movie was just hard to watch because I was gonna fall. Like, I literally was so bored.
Because it was bad.
Bad.
Yeah,
So
this was not a great movie.
Worse than Tusk.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch Tusk than this again. Because Tusk has some good parts, and
Yeah.
Justin Long. This has nothing.
Yeah, nothing about this
This
movie
makes no sense.
But I guess watch it since, it was part of our episode, just so you know what we're talking about. But, like, this was not a good movie, but it was the perfect pick for this month. The month of bad movies.
Yeah. Definitely
kinda
fits
seemed-
the theme.
Yeah, exactly. And it just seems like if we wouldn't have looked up the list of horrible movies, that this would have been like one that we never would have known
no.
ever.
Uh-uh.
Never would have known it existed.
I'm never gonna watch that again.
No, neither. But go ahead. Let's read the next question.
The serial killer in Scream wears a mask inspired by which Edward... Does this say Edward? Edward. Read that. Edward?
Edvard Munch painting.
The serial killer in Scream wears a mask inspired by which Edvard Munch painting?
So go ahead.
This is an easier one, I'd say.
Yeah, probably. So go ahead and answer that on the Facebook, and we'll shout you out. And by the time this episode comes out, we'll shout out the person that got the answer right.
Yup.
And you don't really have to watch this one, but watch it if you're watching
If
the
you're
same
bored,
movies as
I mean,
us.
it's free on Tubi.
Yeah, exactly. So
It's kind of, it's like a, what? You know what I mean?
yeah. But I'm glad that that's over.
Me
And
too.
our next movie is Critters, and apparently that's a controversial choice
Okay.
for worst rated.
We'll
so
see.
hopefully it's better than this one.
I kind of has to be at this
Yeah,
point.
it kind of has to be, yeah. So yeah, we'll catch you next week with Critters, and thank you guys for listening and
Yep. Thank you.
liking up the page and sharing and stuff and
You.
commenting. We appreciate it, so it keeps us going. But that's all we got, so we'll catch you next week.
Catch you later.